Welcome to the Fight for Your City podcast. My name is Jonah Carpenter, and I'm so glad to have my friend with me, Colton Potter. Colton is the worship leader at Family Bible Church. He was also my RD. And Colton, you and me used to have the best job together, where we had to tell college students they could not drink or have women in their dorms. Wasn't that just the best job we've ever had?
The best part of that job was the fact that we had to deliver all of their sick meals to them for a year when the world shut down.
That was.
We peaked at 90 meals a day. I counted.
Yeah.
90 meals, or 30 meals 3 times a day.
It was horrible.
And there were 4 of us.
Yeah, I remember the first time we did that. Me and Niles were delivering meals. Niles, a friend who's been on the show before, but we were delivering meals, and we went to the girls section because we had a girls wing, and we delivered to 2 girls there, and both of them answered the door with no clothes on.
You told me that, and
yeah, I didn't know what to do with it.
I know, because Niles was like scarred.
Oh yeah, he like cried. He like fell into
He did not. Don't do that to him.
I was like, there.
He did not do
You'll
that.
recover. He did.
He was that was a jarring experience for both of you, but I don't think you should. Don't slander his composure like that.
It's not slander if it's true.
It didn't happen.
Bro, I was there. You weren't there.
This is also the same person that has denied the fact that you lived out of the dryer for 2 years.
I do not deny it. I was a horrible person.
I have camera footage still. I saved it.
It's incredible. You're one of those kind of managers.
Yeah.
Colton, you're a worship leader at Family Bible Church. How long have you been doing that for now?
I have been the worship team director at Family Bible Church I'm in my sixth or seventh year, depending on which side of the coin you're on.
When you get to about 5, 6, 7 years out of church, that means you've been through at least one stage of the church's life.
Yeah.
What's that been like then?
So Family Bible Church was started in 2010, I think. Okay. 10 or 11. For those first 7 years or so, they met out of the clubhouse at Cambridge, the golf course. And they used the ballroom every Sunday.
Yeah, they did a wedding there.
Yeah. It was mine. Oh, no, you weren't at mine.
No, it wasn't.
You were on your honeymoon. But they set up everything. They tore it down every Sunday. I don't think they had to, I don't remember if they paid or not to use the space, but they did that for 7 years. And then they built our, what will eventually become our Family Life Center on Husky Way, right next to North High School in 2017. And then I got hired in 2019. So the big stage that I was there for was, we just finished within the last year and a half, our first building expansion. Yeah. Which we built classrooms and what will eventually become our main lobby area. Okay. They call it the cafe right now. It's literally just an empty kitchen and seats. Yeah. But the classroom space was the biggest thing. Okay. One of the things that we very clearly identify is that we are a teaching church. Yeah. Our head pastor Colin is like, he'll give most scholars a run for his money on his research, which is one of my favorite things about him. But growth was another big stage in the worship team. When I started, I had about 9-ish people that they rotated, which was cool. Most of them were folks that just sang, just played an instrument or learned an instrument when the church was started so that people didn't get burnt out. Oh, okay. So a lot of guys that were in their 40s that have been playing guitar for maybe 3-4 years. Some people that maybe played guitar when they were in their teens and now are in their 40s, 50s and picking it back up. And then now I would say active members at this point, because fall is a very different season. I think I have about 25. That's that we rotate.
That's quite a big worship team because y'all. I mean, you're a good, healthy sized church, but you're not exactly like mega church by any means. No,
we're about at actual membership. We're at 72. So a clean 34% of our church is on the worship team. Well, in worship team or AV capacity.
Well, that's crazy because a lot of churches will have maybe 100, 200 people, and they're lucky to have the 5 that they do have on stage.
Yeah. Now, we'll seat about 125 on a good day.
What's caused it that you're able to have and develop such a big team at the size church you are when so many other churches struggle to just put what they have on stage?
I think it would just boil down to the fact that I just don't say no.
Okay, go into that.
And my wife's a kindergarten teacher, and her big thing, the big thing that she had to learn in teaching today. I'm also a teacher, but not kindergarten. One of the things that has changed with teaching the youngins is redirection. So you don't just go, no, trouble. You say, maybe not. Let's try this. So what happened would be a lot is that I would get people that would come in and they would expect this, and I would be like, maybe we try it this way. And then it would work out, and they'd either be cool with it or they'd grumble and get over it kind of thing. So it was really just a lot of like redirecting people to where they need to be. I've never turned anyone down.
And it's not like you're letting, you're not even exactly like running it like everyone can just do whatever they want.
No.
You're just helping.
That would drive me nuts.
What you're doing is essentially help redirecting them towards what the vision is of what you're trying to do.
That or just what they can do. I meet people where they are. The phrase that I was told a lot growing up in church music is the strive for excellence line. And so many times you hear that, and it's almost an excuse for reaching too much for perfection to the point where you're cutting out things that don't need to be cut out. Because we're in Evansville. It's not, there's a really cool live music scene here in Evansville.
There is, yeah.
But we're not Nashville.
No, not
We're
close.
not Atlanta. We're not New York. We're not LA. We're not any of these music epicenters. And churches in those areas can't afford to audition people and like admit or cut people. We don't, there's no reason for that to happen here in Evansville.
Yeah.
And I think even more so than that, I've just really looked out with the fact that like the people that want to be on stage either have the history or they're just good learners or just naturally good musicians. I mean, most of our singers are real good lead singers. I have a handful of real good harmony singers. I have an even smaller few that are comfortable just being like me looking at them and say, sing a part. And they're like, cool. Some of them they're choral singers where I can show them a part and it's in there and it's stuck and then they can recreate it, which is great. And I'm just fortunate enough to have that.
Yeah.
And then on the backside of that, I have a lot of people that are comfortable stepping out of their comfort zone and being like, hey, I don't want to be on the stage, but I want to help. Can I help run the slides? Yeah. And I'll be like, can you push a button? And they're like, yes. And I was like, can you look at a screen and tell me if something is wrong? And they go, you're hired. So
that's interesting to me then, because most other churches that I've worked at or served at, you're having to go chase those people down. But instead, you've been blessed that you've now are having people come up to you wanting to help.
Yeah. So I've had to maybe do like what's the word?
A recruitment.
Yeah. I'm very passive in recruitment. There's been 2 times that I've had to like on stage be like, hey, we could use some help in this area. Please consider. And that's about as active as I get with it. And the only reason that I do that is because we have a big age range. All the way from our youngest member up until recently was 7 playing the drums. He's crazy good.
For 7 or just like comparative?
Good.
Wow.
And add the fact that he's 7. All the way up to in their 60s.
Wow.
I think. But
yeah,
fall is one of the busiest times of year at our church, because we're very plugged into the North football program.
Okay, awesome.
We serve them breakfast every Saturday, and then we do one of their Thursday meals throughout the season. And then we have a family a couple families in our church are involved in marching bands around the city and surrounding cities. One of those families being involved in the Castle Marching Band, which is like the most involved of any of the things ever. So they're very busy all the time. So in the fall, they're like, hey, we're not as available. And this family also has quadruplets, and 3 of them are on the team.
It's a busy family.
Yeah, so they're busy. Mom and dad serve on the team. 3 of the 4 serve on the team in some capacity. So it's like, if one of them's busy, chances are they're all in it anyway.
Yeah.
So that takes out 6 people.
Yeah.
So that's a gap that we've been fortunate enough to be able to fill with a few new faces.
That would be like a death sentence to so many churches.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're talking about 6 people. That's nobody. That's, you have no one to sing. You have no one to do slides. You got nobody.
Yeah, it's a little like Partridge Family situation. They're really fun. Like acoustic guitar, electric guitar, vocals, and then the other one plays. He plays keys and drums.
Yeah.
A little bit, and then the two boys. Their primary instruments aren't even what they play at church. They're saxophone and clarinet. So like they're ridiculous.
What else do you think has led to, because that's just so wild to me, because I in my like experience in ministries, that is sometimes like the hardest thing to fight, is getting people who have instruments on Sunday, to come and play, and even like to do the AV, the soundboard, all that. What do you think has made your church and your team so different that people are wanting to serve instead of you having to constantly recruit?
I would say that it would probably just have to do with the fact that it was already like that before I got here.
Okay.
All of these families, all of these people that are on my team, in some form or another, either adjacently or active or were already there and then hopped in, they were already plugged into FBC in some capacity before I got there. The majority of them. Now, we've had some that have joined later on and been like, I sing. And I'm like, get up here.
Yeah.
Or come to practice. And I think that's part of it, is just that we have so many just plugged in families that are connected with each other.
Yeah.
That are like, there's no strangers in the building on a Sunday morning in a good way. It's not like a greeter team. That person hasn't been properly harassed yet.
Sick 'em.
Yeah, get them. It's not like that. It's like everybody comes in. If you don't know anybody there, chances are you're going to end up sitting by somebody. They're going to be like, hi.
Yeah.
Like, I'm this. And it's not like, it's very genuine.
Yeah, so I guess you can say there's 2 things going into it. One, the culture of the worship team, that means the vibe or how the worship team is built directly into the church itself.
Yeah.
So that is to say, so the church has a culture of being friendly and available, and when people get into that, they're more likely to go on the worship team.
Yeah.
But then also you've created the quote unquote culture of openness, that I'm willing to have you on. I'm willing to have you come to practice and try. And I'm not even going to shut you down when you have an idea. We don't guarantee we're going to go along with the idea, but I'm going to hear you out still.
Oh yeah. I mean, I am horrendous about listening to new music. I'm just terrible at it.
I am too.
New worship music specifically.
Is it because you don't like it, or just like you like what you like and you like the old stuff?
Well, I don't listen to worship music outside of my job.
I don't either. High five.
Let's go. I don't know if we need a high five about that.
Yeah,
I just
do.
Like,
let's go.
I just don't.
I understand it.
Like when stuff like comes by, and every so often, like I'll be in the car with my wife and she'll have K-Love on, and then I'll hear that and be like, that's neat. What is that? And then I'll dive in and then pick up a few new ones along the way.
Yeah.
And it's always a monumentous occasion when Chris Tomlin writes anything. So that usually pops up too. Because he's been doing it forever and he's great at it.
But here's the thing. The reason I agree with you and jokingly high five with you about it is because I think sometimes we get... K-Love has a thing where obviously it's the running joke. K-Love hears a song, they play it 2 years after it came out, and they play it for the next decade, right? But also I think there's there's an echo chamber that can happen in worship music where just it's all the same songwriters and, you know, the same stuff coming out, that all the sounds kind of, they come out samey. It's important to kind of listen to outside of that to take new influences on, because whether we want to admit it or not, what we call contemporary worship music finds its roots in some secular music in terms of music structure. Like, it's not a surprise now when we talk about Hillsong got a lot of stuff from Coldplay and from U2.
Yeah.
And even going all the way back to Martin Luther. Martin Luther helped write hymns based on the tunes of what they would sing in the bars. Yeah. And it's not that the lyrics are the same at all, but it's even just about how the songs are built. We're building it in a way that people can be familiar with a tune and a way of singing that we can then introduce the gospel message to them.
Yeah. My day job is teaching at a high school level, and one of those classes is music history. We just started the unit of eras of how long does this go?
This isn't the Eras tour?
I wish. They would be a lot more engaged. It's like pre-19th century music so far. Okay. We're in medieval right now. We started medieval today. Like,
what does medieval music sound like?
Gregorian chant, and then you just break into like troubadours, traveling minstrels. Okay. Where they're like, it's like what you would expect. You've seen A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger? Yeah. It's like that, but not the rock music part. Like the lute stuff.
So like Skyrim.
Sure. Yeah, okay. It would be like that. But what I told the kids today, and it rings true forever. I got this from one of my professors in college. You cannot identify where you're at in music until you know where you've been. Okay. There's not this is a whole lawsuit with Ed Sheeran a few years ago.
I remember that. Yeah.
There is new music under the sun, but there's not any new notes. Yeah. There's still 12. In the Western world, there's still 12. There's only so many combinations you can have with them that are pleasing to our westernized ears. Yeah. This is getting in, without getting too far into the music nerd tangent. Worship music's like, any music's like that. Worship music is not immune to that. Mm-hmm. What I have done, and I don't know if this is to my detriment or the opposite sounding word to detriment. Yeah. But I don't structure our music in the way that you would expect other churches to do it.
Explain that to me.
So on a Sunday that I call the stage full, we have an acoustic guitar, a bass player, a drummer. I always, anymore, I'm leading from the electric guitar. And then sometimes we're able to have, we don't have too many keyboarders on the staff right now, but keyboardists, but we have that. And then I like to have at least 2 singers or more. Mm-hmm. I max out at 3 right now, 4 sometimes. But I'm most comfortable, and I think we are most comfortable with 3 singers because our stage isn't that big. Yeah. So I don't want to be like,
yeah, you're packing a lot into that stage.
Yeah, it's a lot. I listen to a guitar nerd podcast, essentially. Am I allowed to plug other people here?
Sure, go ahead.
It's called Dipped in Tone. You should listen to it. It's awesome. They have a segment where you can send in your gear and they'll talk about it. They ripped me in half. It was hilarious. Like, absolutely, like, no holds barred. One of them looked into the camera and said, "This is bad." Regardless, one of the things that they pointed out about my rig is I sent a picture of my electrics that I play, that I would rotate out on a Sunday, my pedal board and my amps. And one of the things that they pointed out was on my pedal board, I have what's called a wah-wah pedal. Yeah. You don't see those in church.
Not often, no.
No, not since Mighty to Save. You know when that came out?
Was I live?
Yes.
Barely.
2006.
Oh, barely.
I don't like thinking about that.
I was 6, but all right.
Gross. But that was the last time that you heard in a studio recording a wah pedal being used in church. I use it like every Sunday because it's fun. I don't subscribe to the idea of, of subdued playing is godly playing. But I also don't go so far to the other end of the spectrum where we're showboating. There's a video. I don't remember who did the video. It might be Bob Coughlin, which is very ironic because I love Bob Coughlin. But he has a worship team with him, and he's talking about how you cannot play out in church like it's the 11th commandment. Like, you can't do it.
What would playing out be like?
Showing off, like playing to your fullest ability. Yeah, because it sounds good.
So, like, I have a friend who I had on the podcast, Caleb Morgan, who's a drummer.
He's a great drummer.
Oh, he's so good. I've had him play when I was a pastor before. But
Caleb would not be able to play for Bob Coughlin.
Okay, I was about to say, the guys he plays with.
Caleb plays good, and he plays well, and he plays with that fervor. Because I mean, you watch this video. I don't remember what the video is titled because I disagree with it so much. I've watched it twice in my life. He starts and they play this song and it just sounds like a church song. Nothing crazy. Everything's kind of like not held back by any means, but it's comfortable. And then he goes around the room and he says, "Overplay." He uses the word overplay, and they're marketably more happy when they're playing.
And he just cuts the joy off.
Well, not that. He just goes around, like, the bass player's smiling, which doesn't always happen. Even if they're having fun, as a bass player, sometimes we're just into it. We're not smiling. He was, like, grinning. Drummer's going nuts. Everyone was smiling, even when it wasn't their turn. And he gets to the front and he went, "All right, can't do that." I'm like, why not? So, like, we don't use a click. We use pads sometimes. We don't play with tracks. That's not a knock on those things. They're just not. It's not for me. We do run in-ears now, which was a huge jump. Yeah. And it's just we just use the phrase I said, "As I meet them where they're at." They meet me where I'm at too. Yeah. In the fact that, like, if we do a song, I'm trying to think of what. Song called "All I Have Is Christ." Okay. I once was on. I don't want to get you copywritten.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Hallelujah. Yeah. All I have. It's in 3. It's 3 is not a friendly meter for church musicians. Most of them. We hear music. We hear 4. The snare drums on 2 and 4. Well. That's what we're used to hearing. I don't know if that's coming through the mics at all.
That's fine.
Okay, sweet.
We'll get it in there.
You can replace that with, like, Neil Peart or something. It's the YYZ. But I don't do that song anytime it's requested. Because there has to be specific situations where I can even play it because it's tough for me. Yeah. And there are some folks on the team that really like to sing the song in the congregation. Like, we're not gonna not do it ever. Yeah. But if that person's up and that song comes across my, like, purview, I'm like, we're not doing that one. Yeah. So and so shares my struggle with that song. Yeah. Like, there are songs that females normally sing. That I don't like moving the key around to have me sing it or have one of our male singers sing it. It doesn't sound right. Yeah,
that was a lesson that Brian Adcock had to teach me.
Yeah,
the music, the choir director at Castle, who I worked with, he had to teach me that because they were at the time of the band, they were playing a lot of music. Their idea of new music was about, like, 2014, I would say. They had a few. And there was a thing, I wanted to do some new music. But he had to teach me, and thankfully we were able to have just these very honest conversations. But he was just like, that just doesn't fit what parts of our band can do. Yeah. Like, and I had to think about that. So I had to learn to listen to a song and be like, that is a woman leading it. Yeah. It probably wouldn't make sense for a guy to lead that song.
Not in the original key. And if you move that key around too much, there's a point with certain people. Now, some people can do it.
Yeah.
I have one of our female singers. I can put a song in whatever key I want.
Yeah.
She will make it work. Even if she's like at the top or the very bottom of her range, she can do it and it sounds good. But like, I'm not one of those people. My range is pretty set. And there's that. All of that to circle back around to what you actually asked me was, the structure being different is more for a comfort level and an enjoyment level. The first, I should have led with this. The first thing I tell any new person that joins our worship team, other than come to a practice first, when they get to that practice, we're all up on the stage. We pray in every practice. And then I say, we cannot expect our congregation to worship if we are not also.
Oh, that's so good.
That being said,
so amazing. If
there's a Sunday that you're not feeling up to it, it's Sunday morning, you woke up, somebody TT'd in your coffee.
Yeah.
Your dog took a dump on the rug. I don't know. And you're just like, man, I am not in a worshipful mood this morning.
I don't have a heart to worship this morning.
Yeah, you tell me. That's fine. We'll make it work.
And that I think that's just so good. That's the difference to me between worship and performing then.
Yeah, and I'm a performer in addition to this. Like I've plucked some of my worship team people out and put them into a practice room and said, we're going to go play here and we're going to play these songs. And they're like, cool.
And you've done shows like you just did Harvest Days.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Logan.
Like I have a band of my church peeps outside of the church.
What's the band's name, Colton?
Unironically, the band is called A Band with No Name. There's the slight backstory to that. We did an open mic night back where I grew up, and we were doing a song by the band America called A Horse with No Name. And the guy hosting the open mic night was like, what's your band's name? And I was like, we don't have one. He's like, you ever heard that song by America called A Horse with No Name? And I was like, we're playing that. And he's like, you should call yourselves A Band with No Name. And it stuck. That's all it is. And it's really easy because I was like, I don't have to think about it anymore. Those are the best band names, the ones that somebody else comes up with in general. But so like, I'm not saying that there's no guitar solos at church. There's some guitar solos at church.
Yeah.
And they're fun. There are some times where we break all the music down and it's just the drums or it's just the whatever. And we let them kind of show out in a non-showy way. Okay. I've never had a problem with somebody overplaying to the point where someone in the congregation was like, that's a little much. Yeah. Never had that. But like, if there's an 8-measure break in a song, you best believe I'm playing something over the top of that because it keeps it interesting. It keeps people engaged. And if they're not engaged, sometimes that juxtaposition of it can be what brings them back in. That's really what gets them in. Because my teaching job is at Catholic High School here in town, Mater Dei.
Shout out Mater Dei, right down where I live.
Yep.
West side.
I'm the choir director there, and my choir leads all the music in mass. We have a mass twice a month, and it's 550 high schoolers in an auditorium doing mass. Yeah. It can be boring. Yeah. Any church service can be boring to a high schooler.
Absolutely.
So what I try to do is structure that, just like I do it at Family Bible, in a way that is captivating, but not because of the music. That might be what opens the door, but what gets them through the door is the word, is the meaning of the lyrics of the songs. That's why we don't do at school in mass. In the younger grades, elementary and middle school, they'll do a lot of songs that you would classify in a Protestant realm as Bible school songs. Yeah, good songs,
but meeting where they're understanding it.
Not a ton of biblical content. Yeah, there's one. It's a great song. I think it's super fun. It's called "Go Make a Difference." not a scripture reference in sight, but it's a good song. Go make a difference in the world. Mm-hmm. That's the message. Heck yeah, go do it. Not because I said so, because the Bible said so. And that's what they teach them later on. Yeah. But we don't do that in the high school level because that's to me, that's an insult to their intelligence.
Yeah. You're meeting where their understanding is.
Yeah, they're to the point where they can understand a little bit more complex thought. So I'll pull in addition to some of those Catholic standards, a guy named Dan Schutte, I think is how you pronounce his name, wrote a ton of like modern Catholic mass songs. And they're cool.
Interesting.
They're cool. But I'll pull in Coughlin. I'll pull in Matt Boswell, Matt Papa, those guys with really, really thick, theologically rich lyrics. And I'll throw those at my choir for fun and have them learn it, and they'll sing it back at me, and I'll be like, what do you think? And if they're like, I like that a lot, we do it in mass. Yeah. If they throw it back at me and they're like, well, what did I just sing? Boom, conversation starter.
That's an interesting way to lead. Even like if you think about them possibly one day serving in a worship team or in a choir, they get to play a part in the decision making.
Yeah. I like
instead of just the what we sometimes think in unhealthy church situations, the authoritarian, hey, we're doing this, get on board or leave.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never been at that point. There have been situations in the choir and at FBC where I'm like, hey, we're gonna have to do it this way. Like, there's not a way around it. How can I help you get to the point where that's comfortable?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with pushing them a bit too.
My mantra, for lack of a better word, I think it's a good word, is growth. Mm-hmm. My worship team, my choir, my secular band, we're growing as musicians, we're growing as people, we're growing as Christians. If I can help you do one or all or two of these three things, I've succeeded. If it's just musicianship that we're growing in, cool. Let's talk about growing as a person, as a team member. Mm-hmm. If it's just those two, what are we not getting out of it that's not letting you grow as a Christian? What can we get out of it that helps us grow as a Christian? And it's the same thing with the kids at school, because not all of them are Catholics. Not all of them are Christians. Yeah. And I'll tell them up front, if this doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you. I'm not going to close that door just because one of you isn't. Yeah. And I don't ask them. That is their prerogative. Yeah. And I lay that out for both because I think it's important for growth. Mm-hmm. Growth as a musician because we're further striving for that excellence that we're called to have in the Bible. Growth as a person, you can't be in a band if you can't get along with anybody. Yeah. Growth as a Christian, duh. Mm-hmm. Why not? Why wouldn't you want to grow as a Christian? Why would you not want to grow in your walk with the one you're singing these songs about or playing these songs for the one that gave you the ability to do it in the first place? And I learned that really young, and I think that's probably why it stuck with me for so long, is that like I will always be growing as a musician. I still take guitar lessons. Wow. I will always be growing as a person. Like, yeah, everyone is. I will always be growing as a Christian because there's no way I'm going to memorize the Bible. I can't do it. Yeah. Some people can, not me. You're a leader in the church, but you're still a part of the church. Yeah. I'm only 27. I'm not infallible. Yeah. Even the guys that get to their 80s, professors in college, they're still going to church to be poured into. Yeah. It's the same with guitar playing. I know guitar players who still take, maybe not as often as I do, but they'll get on Zoom once a month and meet with somebody who is at a higher skill level or in a different place than them, and they'll powwow and they'll learn. And that's a lesson. Yeah. I mean, it's not out of the question. So those of you that play instruments, take more lessons. Yeah. If nothing else. If I could wrap up the show, I ask leaders to do this sometime, but I just leave with this last question. If you could say one thing right now to every worship leader in the world right now who's leading a team, whether it's 30-something people, whether it's a whole choir, maybe it's just them and a couple other people who just got together and started playing on Sunday. If you could say one thing to all the worship leaders in the world right now, what would you tell them? Is this going to peak if I really get into it? Okay, so I won't do that. Get your guitars set up. That's my half joke answer. Take your guitars, all of your instruments to a tech, get it set up right so it stays in tune, so that when you have your big washy Strymon reverbs on, they can sound right, so you can match the pad and the keyboard. That's my half joke answer because that's a real thing.
Shout out, whisper it loud.
Sure, I don't know. Yes. Do you do guitar work? Okay, go to Musician's Den here in Evansville.
He'll do it.
Go to Musician's Den here in Evansville. Go see Tim Carter. That's my man. Tim has touched every single guitar I've owned since I was 14. No one else is allowed to work on my instruments other than Tim. That will never change.
Where's Tim at again?
Right next to Eastland Mall, Vogel Road, right by the Mike's Car Wash. Go find it. Go tell him that I sent you. You won't get a discount, but he'll smile more.
Yeah. Great Vietnamese food right next to it.
Yeah, it's good.
Fantastic.
Gaming guilds right there if you play card games. My real answer is meet your peeps where they are. Don't just jump on the back of your best person and ride that skill for the next 15 years because you're going to burn that person out. They're not going to want to do it anymore. You're going to dull the senses of everybody else on the stage. No one's going to grow. Not even you. You won't even grow. And you will get to the point where I was in the first few years of college. I do not claim to be the highest skilled person in anything I ever in because I'm not. But there came a point where I realized that I was stagnating and no one was doing anything about it. And that's just as much on me as it is the people around me. I was stagnating as a bass player. I wasn't learning anything new. I was playing the same riffs I learned. I was throwing the same Red Hot Chili Peppers licks into every single worship song I could. I was slapping the bass in songs that had no reason having slap bass in it, even though it sounded really cool. And I wasn't learning anything new. The same was with me as a person. I wasn't being receptive to the people around me, and I wasn't being receptive to the Lord telling me to practice your stinking instrument and learn something new. People don't want to hear Higher Ground every Sunday, even though I did. And open a book, a good one. It could be the good book, but open a book and learn something new. Grow something. And it was that first year and a half of college that I just stagnated in everything. And I don't really remember what knocked that cork loose. Yeah. But there came a point where I was like, oh, I'm gonna start growing again. First, it was in musicianship because I was learning new licks. I had discovered other musicians and other bands that I liked, and I was wanting to throw everything they did into everything I did. And then it just kind of trickled from there. Yeah. But I would, don't forget to grow, and don't forget to worship in your own space along with your congregation, because it's just as important for us to be in that space, us as worship peeps, to be in that space as it is for our congregation. And with that too, a worship service is not just song. However many you do. I don't know. We do 6 every Sunday. I love
a word.
It's great. I love it. But it's not song, announcement, song, sermon, song. That's our structure. Yeah. Somewhere in there, people got to know what the songs are about. If we just sing, what's the one I referenced last week? I Surrender. If we just do the song I Surrender and nobody ever talks about it, it's going to get lost in there. Yeah. But if I pull out an experience from there, or I pull out the scripture that it's from and I talk about it, it has something that you can recall. And it means that much more. It means that much more to me. I wouldn't said it. I said it if I didn't mean it. So don't forget that either. Yeah. I'm all, you know me, I ramble, but that's all great stuff. That's what I would say for sure.
I experienced that too. I tell people have a hard time thinking of this sometimes, but I say when I preach a sermon, I need you to understand I'm not just saying it to you.
No, you're screaming it at me too.
I'm preaching it
when you're preaching. Sorry,
but I'm preaching it to myself too.
Oh yeah,
it's as much to me as it is to you when I'm pulling through those experiences.
Yeah,
Colton, you were great. That was so much incredible, wisdom, teaching that you gave here. I learned a lot from it. I feel like there's more to give. I'd love to have you on again when you get a chance to.
Yeah, sure,
absolutely.
If you got 4 more hours, I'll bring a textbook. How many amps can I bring in here?
Bro, I'll get Roman in here. We'll be here for days.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Roman
tried to steal my instrument. I saw that string bass you posted on Facebook, Roman. I don't know if this camera's on. I'm looking at him.
He let me play it.
I know he did. I saw you steal my instrument, and you didn't invite me over to see it. I will use this as a call-out platform. Thank you for cutting to that, by the way. That was what we needed. This guy, I like this guy.
He's good.
You ever call him out on the...
I have not, dude. I usually
Can you give him a shout out right now,
bro? Shout out Chad Fry.
The
Chad Fry. Chad is.
You can get him a mic.
He is the founder of Whisper It Now. He set up this whole studio. He does incredible work. If you need anything done, AV related at church, business, whatever, he's the guy to call. Also, if you need a great family band, his family is the one to call.
And if you need cable management, this is immaculate.
It's pretty immaculate.
I'm envious.
Yeah. And if you need a band to play at your church or community event, a band with no name is available.
Yeah.
Always. Colton, thank you for coming on, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me, brother.